Joey Mills here for Betfred Boxing. I'm joined by Ben Shalom. Ben, it must feel so good. The rematch is finally here.
It feels good. It feels big. It feels less like a pantomime. I think last time it needed to be sold. I think we had the egg slap, we had the back and forth, we had so much controversy because I think people genuinely didn't think the fight would be that good. I think the casual fans and particularly the boxing fans felt like potentially it was a mismatch, potentially it would have performed, two pretenders. I think they both surprised us, and it became probably the best fight of the year, the best fight a lot of people are saying in a decade. So I think this time it's serious. This time neither fighter wants to go through that again. And so, yeah, particularly from Chris's side, he's more than ready.
So what you're saying is you've given him a pat down. There's definitely no dairy products, eggs on his person.
Listen, I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know what's to come today. It feels like this is the last press conference. Could be the last press conference in Eubank Ben history.
Yeah, wow.
So on that basis, you'd expect Chris Eubank Jr. to do something out of this world. So I know it could shock a few people. So let's see what happens.
Well, I think it's interesting there that you sort of evoke the history of Eubank and Ben. Obviously, it's the most well-known story in British boxing. But do you feel more so than the first? This one isn't really about the duds. It's about Chris Jr. and Conor. It's about what they did in that first one. It's about their own storyline that they've sort of built between each other. Do you think that really the focus is more on this generation this time?
They've definitely created a rivalry for themselves. It's definitely taken a completely different realm in that respect. But I think this is still British sport. This is still Eubank Ben. This is still something that we've been watching for 30, 40 years. So they'll both be here today. The first time we've been blessed with seeing it at a press conference, and I'm sure it's going to be fireworks. So honestly, I cannot wait for today. I think the fans are in for a treat. But yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
And I wonder, obviously you mentioned Senior there was the surprise on the night, at least the surprise for the rest of us when Senior turned up. It was a willy or won't he for the whole week. How early were you clued in that Senior was going to be there, or did you know the whole time?
I knew about 2 hours before, and genuinely it was decided near enough on the day. The night before there was a little contact, and then it happened. I think look, Senior, people, I saw it in the week about his interview and whether he was paid. I can confirm he wasn't paid. I can confirm there was no amount of money that until that point was going to get him there. He was offered money previously. We tried absolutely everything, but in the end he decided off his own volition on the day that he was going to come. And what a moment that was, a moment in British sport that will never be forgotten, a moment that's still talked about now, a moment that will be talked about for another 10 years. But something tells me that this Saturday night will be even bigger and even better than the first one. I think having Senior in the corner, having Senior on the walkout, having Senior part of the build-up is gonna take this to another notch. And for me, this is about Eubank cementing himself in British boxing history himself, Eubank Jr. that is. And I think, look, he's probably the biggest pay-per-view star in the UK right now. This will cement it on Saturday, and for us, the big fight that we've always wanted is Canelo Alvarez, and to make sure that it's attractive enough for him to come over to the UK so we can have another big stadium show. And that's only going to happen if Chris deals with Conor in emphatic fashion, and that's what's on the line on Saturday night.
So you mentioned it there, the Canelo fight, so that is still very much the direction of travel. It's obviously a name that Chris has been saying a lot over the past few years. You're saying the Crawford fight doesn't shift things at all. It's not about the belts, it's about history.
It's hard to talk about Terence Crawford when he's part of the camp, you know. Brian McIntyre trains Terence, Brian McIntyre now training Chris. I think it's disrespectful to talk about that fight. I mentioned it to Beaumac in the hotel and I got a nasty look about 10 days ago. Canelo's the fight that Chris has always wanted. It really is. That's a major fight. I think it makes a lot of sense for Canelo Alvarez after what happened. I think Canelo's always talked about coming to the UK as well. And so this is his chance. This is his chance to come and experience what it's like to fight in Britain at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 people against the biggest pay-per-view star in this country. And as I say, that's what's on the line for Chris on Saturday night.
And just finally, because we ask everyone, I mean, you're going to be the most obvious answer to this question unless I ask Eubank Jr. himself, but how do you see it going on Saturday night?
I really believe Chris is going to stop him. I think if you've got money spare this week, put it on a Chris Eubank Jr. stoppage. He looks phenomenal. He's completely locked in. The camp's locked in. His trainer's locked in. Everything is set up for a devastating performance.
Chris Eubank Jr. stoppage. You heard it here first. Ben, Shalom, thank you for speaking with me today.
Top man.
Nice one.